Okay, David, this is April 18th, your first session. Okay, so we'll take some time and I'll tell you exactly the lines I draw, and nothing can escape your eye with these lines. Okay, so the first line I draw is the shaft angle at address, and that sets up the swing plane. Okay, and the swing plane is any plane parallel to one of these lines. It doesn't have to be exactly on one of these or the other, and I could draw a million of the lines, but we just need to keep the shaft parallel to the swing planes. Okay, so the other swing plane, the other lines we draw are hand path, middle of the ear to see how much head movement and what time in the swing, and then you've got the butt board. Okay, so this is pretty good posture. I talked before we started recording that you may think about refining that grip just a bit. The left grip seems to be okay, but you always like to get pinchers so those two knuckles meet, makes that V well defined. On the other, turn it so those two pinchers here and get that knuckle more on top. It's not causing any great trauma, but it's a source of inconsistency, and it gives you just more structure. Like I said, that knuckle is the shelf at the top, but it also helps square up the club face as you come through. So these are the lines that I recommend drawing. And then we have one additional line that measures depth. So the pros end up with depth for long clubs and driver, towards their heel. Amateurs end up with it closer to their toe, and that, anyway. So those are the lines, and now we'll just okay. So this is why the swing plane's important. Is no matter what happens on the takeaway, when you come to hit, you got to get down right to there again. So the further you get the shaft off the swing plane, that's an unneeded movement, and then you have to make the corrective movement to get it back in order to hit the ball. Okay, so anyway, here are the lines. Now we'll just play this thing through. Okay. That's a solid swing, but there's some. You can subtract some of the moving parts. So position one is the setup position. That's really good. Your arms are hanging nicely under your shoulders. That angle is fine. You use the Gary Player trigger of right knee, which is fine. It kind of previews that you want that right knee going towards the ball through impact. But for you, as you'll see, you have a hard time getting to this double cheek at impact thing. So you might even do the Snedeker, or Woof, where not only do this, you get that hip out of it. So you preview this thing. Now it's added motion, but at least you get the feel of getting that left hip going. Let's see. Okay, so position two. Okay. Here's the shaft. See how the shaft is Whoops. Shaft is almost 90 degrees to the swing plane, but it's not drastically inside. Okay, I know by your previous one, oops, this is what it should look like. This is the model. Now, we don't say you have to be on the model exactly, but within 10%. So this is the position where that we give the best, gives us the best chance of consistency. You know, where he goes right to here, you got to jam back in here. Now, I know for a fact that this isn't causing you to get off plane because I saw the previous video. But what happens is, so that's basically off plane. Now, at some point, so if you take it to the top, at some point you got to work to get it. So you're like this. At some point, you got to work to get it like that. So that's an unneeded movement if you end up like him. So I'll give you this. I'll give you this a copy of this picture. You know, it's just a better. And at this point, you know what happens is a lot of amateurs see that right elbow bends quickly, and then you lose width. Well, the pros, when they're here, is both arms are straight. Okay. And that elbow only bends a little bit at the top, and amateurs think it bends a lot. No. So and the advantage is, if you drag it aside here and look at the width, if I just straighten that arm, that's like 4 inches more width.
Yeah.
So anyway, again, that's not causing a great trauma, but it's going to help your distance and consistency. Okay, so then the next.
Right. Now, getting back to this,
okay.
You're saying then, like normally I come right.
Okay, so then you get it. This is really a great position. See how it's parallel to the swing plane. It's really good. Okay, and the trouble with dragging it inside is, I'll exaggerate like this, so we get it to swing plane, but then we get it across the line.
Yeah.
Okay, now you have to work. Now watch, because it was sucked inside, but then you do. This is a really good move here. See how I keep it on plane? It was trying to get across the line, but it's probably because you use the video, you're trying to get it on plane. You know, it makes it a lot easier if you end up like this, and all you do is rotate your shoulders, it's right on plane.
Okay.
As opposed to here, then you got, if you follow this direction, you run out of room, then you have to lift your arms.
Yeah.
Whereas this, now all I do is rotate the shoulders, I'm right on plane. So it simplifies it again. It's not causing great trauma because I know you get it down on plane. Okay, this is great. The right hip is back, so your hips are rotating. There's really no slide like that. Okay, so this is the move that's. See, you're not quite. See, this is a little steep. See how it's not parallel to that. Mm-hmm. Okay, so then you make this shallowing move, and like I said in the video that I saw, it's a late shallowing move. See how it's right on plane, and here it's a little more shallow. But here's why you can play, is you. Okay, so there's some extra motion, but you get right to here, and that's where you need to be, you know. And you know, so at this stage. See how the shaft is on your forearm, or close to it? You know, it's a little steep, but you can live with it. So all good players, it doesn't matter what the swing looks like, Furyk, Trevino, Nicholas, they all end up with that on their forearm. That's the report card. You're close enough, but and this is why it works is, see the club head slightly behind your hands?
Mm-hmm.
All good players go from there to there. So that part really looks good. Let me check one thing here. So all I'm saying is a bit of commotion. Okay. Yeah, see, that's tons of depth. That's why you can keep it on plane. We don't need to get into details, but trust me, that's tons of depth. I'd like to see a thing a little more laid off though at the top. So
Okay.
you gotta get it like this. So if you go to parallel to the ground, you'll be across the line. So, just.
Now you're talking about on my backswing. Then when I come up, I just.
Okay, as I was showing you, your butt's come away from the back wall. His isn't, and you got one cheek going, and he's got two.
Yeah.
So you end up. That's why you're flipping it. Your left hip is in the way, and that's the thing that's sinking the ship. Okay, so impact position. Head is back an inch and down an inch, maybe. You can live with that. It's not causing any great trauma. We'd like to see it more on the same point. I mean, that's probably one of the reasons. It's the center of the ear start at that green cross. That's about the distance you missed the center spot in the first hit.
Yeah.
An inch. So you got to work on keeping that head. Still you can do this against a wall and all. So through impact. Now here's the flip. Now see, now you clear the hip. It's just late. And now like this, you go to this toe. That's really good. It's late though. So you come through here, then you've got all the flexibility and skill to get up where it should be. It's just late. See, at impact, the good guys are, this is rolled and kind of on the toe, they're like this. You're flat-footed, and then gradually out here,
Okay.
you get toe. So it's just a timing thing. Okay, so, and then when the butt comes away, that promotes getting the hip in the way, like this. So we don't hit with the lower body. It's like a lot of people. You got to get this thing going fast. No, the lower body clears so the arms can swing through. So you hit with your arms and hands, but if your left hip's in the way, you can't. So you clear it, then you can come through. Okay, so let's look at, while we're still recording, let's look at the other dimension while we're still recording here. There should be no surprises, but this highlights the thing you need to focus on. Okay. Okay, so the lines I draw here would be want to see if there's any sway. Let's do the bridge of your nose. Close enough. So your hands are a little forward, not causing a great trauma. I like to see that grip cinched up just a bit. Again, not causing any trauma. It's just, and that's something that's static. It's not in the middle, mid-course correction. You can do that in the mirror. Yeah. So you should be able to walk in. It's just like setup. You walk in there and do that every time. Okay, so it's interesting. You don't have the Gary Player trigger. See that? You don't have it. Okay, so that left hip slides back, and then it turns. Okay, so the problem with it sliding back is sometimes that's 4 inches, sometimes it might be 5, sometimes 2. And then you have to match the distance you slide back on the takeaway to the downswing. And so that's why it's inconsistent. Sometimes the shift is 2, sometimes 5 inches. And then you have to get the other thing matching, the compensating move. So just have to focus on in the barrel, that thing rotates back and then through. So that's causing some inconsistency. Okay. So the heads moved quite a bit. I mean, it's almost like old school Curtis Strange. Bridge started at that yellow Y, and it's now at the red X cross rather. Okay, so then when you come through, so now your hands are about waist high and your hips about where it was at address. I like this weight shift. This hip, this knee has gone outside here, but it's mushy. Okay, so that hip's in the way. So the actual move looks like this. So it's here. There's a sit down move. Then you go to a post, and when you go to that post, look what happened. Left cheek goes back. So you swing through. This thing's kind of mushy, like this, and then like this. So you went here, boom. So there's this little mid swing thought that's going to get that hip going. Okay, then you tap into this. This is really good. Belt buckle to the target, doing the toe, and you're well balanced. But you're exactly right. Okay, so then back to you. Then, yeah, so here's the follow through. This is good. You go into stiff, that's a pretty good position. Look at the shoulder rotation. That's really good. So you have the flexibility and all. And see, this is what 95% of the people on the range missing. See that right shoulder's disappeared behind your head, and you got this. I mean, the good guys are like 15 degrees. That's probably like 10. That's really good. The shoulder's behind the ball. That's really good. I think there's a little problem when the shoulders are too level. Let me get this back one more time. So, David, in summary, a lot of good things were going on with your swing, and don't think a swing change is going to be complicated. Of the 12 things that can go wrong with a swing, you only have 2 that need to be refined. The rest are really good. So.